Sometimes we have to get dissatisfied in order to really want to change things. As Venus is going to be transiting Hasta Nakshatra between the 7th and the 20th of November, and it will be conjuncting Ketu in Chitra Nakshatra, which is what we're going to talk about today. Start thinking about the constructive way that you want to set things up going forward, coming out of eclipse season. If you could use a little bit of help with this particular dynamic, and equally with establishing your vision and taking the concrete action to make things happen, that's what the empowered approach to astrology is all about. I would love for you to experience it in action, and you can do that through one of the links above. So if we were never dissatisfied, would we ever want to change anything? It's really a no-brainer. But of course, we don't like being dissatisfied. We like to have lots of pleasure, lots of enjoyment in our lives. And hey, let's face it, it makes things so much smoother when life is really easy and when things flow to us. But, sometimes when things are so easy, we don't establish a strong sense of values. We don't have a clear perspective of who we are, what we stand for, what we'll fight for, and what it is that we really, really want, right? And so we have to have, from time to time, a build-up of, okay, I'm dissatisfied. I don't like this. I want change. I'm ready for change to happen. And when Venus conjuncts Ketu, it tends to bring, to a certain level, a degree of detachment. That detachment usually is preceded by a period that is anything but detachment, and is usually goes a little something like this. I'm not happy, I'm not fulfilled, and I want to have a better time in my life. Who wouldn't, right? So Ketu is going to be conjuncting Venus between the 7th and the 20th of November. Venus will be transiting Hasta Nakshatra. Hasta is related to the life-giving aspect of the sun, Savitar. It's about breathing life into things. It's about also letting things flow through you, because it's what's called a passive nakshatra. It functions best when things are flowing through it. Ketu's in Chitra. Chitra tends to focus on design, amongst many other things, but think of how you would want to design something. Chitra is also about disenchantment that leads to us wanting to create a more constructive change going forward. So with these two planets conjuncting each other, even though over the course of the next several days, it may not feel, quite so pleasant. I'm not saying it's going to be horrible, you're going to be suffering, anything like that. I don't do that. I'm trying to help you to understand why you're having this experience. That's the best way to make constructive use of astrology. You're having this experience because a change needs to happen, and you need to come up with a plan, with an idea, if you don't already have it, and begin to implement it. If you do already have that particular plan, it may feel to you like, well, this is stuck. It's not getting anywhere. It's not going where I want it to go. Hey, you know what? Like as the old saying goes, Rome was not built in a day. It's like, it's enough. It's enough to have that vision in mind. It's enough to take the appropriate actions. It doesn't mean, boom, you take that action and everything is going to change immediately. No, no, no. Because what happens along the way is your devotion gets tested, right? You may feel confused as you're implementing certain actions and go, okay, I really wasn't thinking about what I would do if this came up. This is all being kind of brought to the surface through the movement of the moon over the course of this period, and equally the transits of Mars, which are both connected to Hasta and Chitra respectively. And so it's going to bring that to the surface, this energy of feeling stuck, so you can get clear on what it is that you really want. I'm going to kind of take a little bit of a detour to help you to understand this. Ketu, for those of you not familiar with Vedic astrology, is the south node of the moon. Now, people get confused about the south node, and they want to hyper focus on it being connected to previous lifetimes. And with the North Node, which we call Rahu in Vedic astrology, people like to get intensively focused on this is what you need to do in this lifetime. To be fair, you need a good balance of both Ketu and Rahu in your horoscope, because here is how they function. People, when they first begin to explore Ketu, the South Node, in Vedic astrology, they understand it as the planet that brings liberation. But the way that it does so is by first creating the opposite effect with whatever it is that it's coming into contact with. So it will create a sense of suppression, right, of feeling stuck. And that's because Ketu relates to something that I like to call the security paradigm, that thing that we cling on to in our life because it went well once before, or it didn't go well once before, and we just don't know what else to do. And so we cling on to it, hoping for something to change or something to shift. That paradigm, when Ketu's conjuncting Venus, and especially because of Ketu's position at the time of this conjunction, is going to make it so we might judge the impact or the effect of our actions based upon how easily something is coming together, or how it's not so easy for it to come together. And to be quite fair, that's not a good judgment of your potential for success, because Rahu's job when Ketu's creating that particular type of a dynamic is to pull you out of your comfort zone, okay? And because of where Rahu is transiting, it's going to make you question what's right, what do I really believe in, what will I fight for? And it's going to impulsively make you start taking actions in that particular direction. And if you pay close attention to things that are going on with the process, Ketu's job is to integrate that and to help you to move forward. But understand that this is a process that's going to be going on for a little while. We'll continue talking about this further when Venus makes its shift into Chitra Nakshatra. For now, what you're needing to understand is the best changes don't always come quickly. The best changes don't always come smoothly. To expect immediate progress. I'm not saying you won't have progress, you probably will, but to expect, especially like probably around the 17th, you'll start noticing a greater degree of progress from your actions, right? But to expect immediate and fast progress along the lines of life-changing actions is really setting your sights, a little too high, right? But at the same time, you need to be in that space of setting your sights high so that you aim high and achieve what it is that you're hoping to achieve. So coming out of this eclipse cycle, which the solar eclipse, if you will remember, was on the 14th of October, and the lunar eclipse was on the 28th of October. This is asking us to set a vision forward. Saturn, starting on the 4th of November, predating this particular transit of Venus, is going to be shifting back towards direct motion. Whatever your consciousness has been crystallizing over the last several months, whatever karmic lessons it's been integrating, you're now ready to make forward motion. And I wish you the best of luck with that particular process. Have a good vision in mind. Have an idea of where you want to take things. Come to an understanding of what you're really devoted to in your life, who you're really devoted to in your life, and keep your focus there. Let things change, let things adjust. A distillation process, if we can call it that, is likely to happen over the course of the time that Venus is making this transit, which once again is between the 7th and the 20th of November. So if you could use a little bit of help, as I mentioned, setting that vision, implementing the changes that you'd like to see, I highly recommend the Empowered Approach to Astrology through my Empower Hour consultations and the Empower Hour Plus, both of which you can schedule at the link above. That's going to do it for this look at Venus's transit through Hasta Nakshatra as it conjuncts Ketu in Chitra, taking place from the 7th of November through to the 20th of November 2023. Until next time, please do take the very best care of yourself. Bye now.